Okay, so the image capture is now completely done through a 240-degree section of the sample. What we want to do now is begin to separate out and batch process all of those images, but at the same time, it might be a good opportunity to now capture images of the other side of your sample. It's not completely likely that you'll need the other side of the sample, but more data is always going to lend itself into a more accurate 3D model. So because the system is still set up from when you're capturing images, all you need to do is just half press, not full press, but half press the shutter. That will turn the sleep mode off on the flash and get that active and charged again. The next thing you're going to want to do is, without moving the stage, you just want to rotate your specimen. So I'm going to turn the B here. There we go. Just 180 degrees. That way now when the rotational stage is rotating, it's capturing the other side. The other thing you want to do, navigate back to your folder, and you want to, again, go to File Name and change the start back to 0, press OK, and everything else is good to go. So your X-axis is still set, your Y-axis is still set, all your flash and camera settings are correct. You want to turn back to the screen where your axes are linked. So this is the X ready and the Y ready, and just press Start. And now what it's going to do is it's going to be capturing another 240 degrees around basically the part of the specimen that wasn't recorded previously. So just wanted to show everybody how to do that. I've already gone ahead yesterday and taken all these images, so what we're going to do now is act like that's all done, and we're going to shut the system down, and we're going to turn to the computer, and everything else is going to be done there. Alright, so now what we're going to do is navigate to the folder where our images had been stored. I had already done some minor organization on the two 240-degree rounds that I had done around the specimen. So I'll show you what I did now. So we're going to navigate to the specimen. So when I did my first set of images, all I did was put -1 and then -37. Now that's just because I knew I was going to capture another round of images. So to separate out the first round of images from the second, now I have two isolated folders. So if I were to go right here, click on the first one, the reason why I added the 37 behind it, this is where that number of steps is important. You'll see that if I were to select this image and go through them until the focal plane sort of resets after the specimen moved 2.5 degrees, looks like it's right here. If I were to drag those images, you'll see that's 37 total images. So that means now what we want to do, rather than manually dragging these to a whole bunch of individual folders, we want to separate these out automatically in 37 in intervals of 37. So in order to do that, this is where our folder axe icon comes in really handy. So what we're going to do is select a folder. We're going to navigate to our external hard drive where they are, Clients 3D, select the specimen, and select the folder. Press OK. So you can split this in a number of ways. We're going to split it by amount. This is where we enter that number, so 37. And now we're going to hit split. And you'll see how the software works. And now it's creating 89 individual folders. And in each folder, we have a complete selection of those 37 individual images per focal stack. So they're all separated out now and ready for batch processing. You kind of want to double check, just make sure it's always the same angle. This is where resetting the image back to 0 is very important. So here, for example, you'll notice I have this image starting at 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Now, if this number was starting at 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, then what's going to happen is that first image is going to be captured there, and then it's going to be reset at 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, and the 9 is going to get tucked away at the bottom somewhere, and it's going to mess up the sequence of the folder axe. So you just want to make sure you're starting with a low number and the final image ends on a high number. And in no basically in no period in between that do the numbers sort of overlap, because it's going to throw everything out of sequence, if that makes sense. You could then look at the date modified and organize them by date. Let's say you do mess up, and then you can manually drag out where they split on your own and then folder X the rest of the files. But it's just an extra step, and we want to avoid that. Always setting back the interval back to 0 is gonna prevent that from happening. Okay, so once again, now we have the second batch of images. We just want to go through and we want to split those now. So we're going to select the second folder. Again, external, go to where they're located. Right here, second folder, okay. Enter 37 and split. Okay, so likewise, now we have all of those split. You just want to click on a random folder, make sure it's all the same angle, which it is. The other thing too is if you end up with 2 folders here, it might be a good idea to just combine them. It'll simplify the process a little bit for batch processing. So we're just gonna open up another one here. Oop. Okay, we're gonna take all of these folders and we're just gonna drag them into that first one. So that'll leave the second folder with nothing in it, and we can go ahead and we can delete that now. All right, the next thing we want to do is start focus stacking. So we're going to open up Zerene Stacker. We're going to drag the folder into the input section. Oh, sorry, that's a mess up. So we're going to open, okay. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to open Zerene Stacker. And we're going to be batch processing. So we're going to open batch dialog. Want to navigate to the folder where all the folders have been split. You want to drag those into the area for processing. You want to move to the bottom of where your folders are, and I like to just create a new folder and call this one final. Then we're going to save the images in a designated folder, and that designated folder is going to be that folder that we just created called final. Okay, so navigate to the external drive. Final, open. So we're going to click on the inside, click save, and now you'll see here our directory is that final folder that we just created. Now we want to add the function. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be aligning in stack all, so you're going to check mark that and press OK, and then save batch to queue. And the next step is run all batches. So we're just going to click on run all batches now. And all of those are going to be focus stacked automatically, and we'll come back and then we'll enter them into Metashape. Now, there is one thing I'd like to just show everyone. Let me just close the dialog here. I'm going to open up Metashape now. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to navigate to preferences from Agisoft Professional, and we need to change some things. Let me just check on where this is. GPU, network, appearance, navigation, advanced. And what you want to do is under project files, you want to make sure keep depth maps is turned on. You want to click on tweaks and you want to add a value. And the parameter that you want to add is this one right here. So you'll press this plus sign. You'll type in main, M-A-I-N, /mesh, M-E-S-H, underscore TVL1, and you want to set a value of false. And that is going to allow us to use depth maps in order to produce our 3D model. So I just wanted to show everybody that now. You just click apply, okay, And now Agisoft Metashape is completely good and ready to go for when all of our images have been focus stacked. When these are done, I might walk us through the final output images. We'll take a look and inspect the quality, and if there's any editing we want to do, we'll do a batch edit in Photoshop. But if they're in pretty good shape, then we might just start to generate the model just from those final images. So stay tuned for that. That'll be the next and final 3D output video.